Hi, I'm Laura and I am part of the White Bear Lake Restoration Association. We are a group of people who want to raise community awareness of the low water levels of White Bear Lake, as well as help to restore it to its natural state. For the past 10 years, the White Bear Lake water levels have been steadily decreasing and recently reaching an all-time low. White Bear Lake used to be a vibrant and beautiful lake, but its users have slowly been watching it sink down, turning the shorelands into huge marshlands and its beaches into fields of sand. I live 6 blocks from this beach at the south end of White Bear Lake. When I moved there a few years ago, the water level was already pretty low, but every summer it has gotten lower and lower. Last summer, the water reached only up to my knees at the deepest part of the swimming area, and outside that is just a vast thickness of weeds that you would not want to go swimming in. This is the beach on the north end of White Bear Lake. Unfortunately, it has been closed since 2009 because the water's edge is way too close to dangerous drop-offs so that it's not safe to swim here. The boat landing there is still open, but there is no dock, just a big mound of sand. The people who are most aware of this problem, obviously, are the lakeside residents. Not only do they need to extend their docks each year so that they reach the water, but their property values have decreased as well. Some residents have obtained permits from the DNR so they can mow the weeds that have grown where the water used to be. In this aerial photo, you can see how the dock has to stretch out about 200 feet to reach the water. This picture was taken in 2012. Another big group of people affected are the lakeside business owners. People can't access this particular restaurant by the lake anymore, and the view from the lake from sitting outside just isn't what it used to be. They have been negatively affected financially as a direct result of the low water levels. And this is where people used to bring their sailboats, and as you can see, that's not really possible anymore. So who are our customers? Well, people like you, your friends and family. The more awareness we can generate about the need for water conservation, the more people there will be who are willing to do something about it. We want to make sure that this problem reaches outside of just the people in White Bear Lake. In fact, if you all want to go to our Facebook page, that would help spread awareness to others. We currently have about 92 likes, so it would be great to get more. In this specific problem, we are working with the mayors, administrators, public works, and finance directors of the cities around the metro area. In addition, we want to work with the head of the Rice Creek Watershed District to see how we can work together to implement water conservation ideas to a more widespread area. As you can see in this chart, the water levels have gone down nearly 6 feet in the past decade. The red line represents the ordinary high water level. This average spans from the 1920s up till today. In 2011, an investigation by the U.S. Geological Survey concluded that the main cause of this problem was more regional groundwater pumping from the Prairie du Chien aquifer, which is the only source for White Bear Lake. Cities near the lake and around the metro area that pump their water from the aquifer have grown to almost 20,000 more people in 2010 than in the year 2000. Since the year 2000, the DNR has authorized these cities to pump 98% more groundwater for municipal uses. As more water was pumped, the aquifer levels have dropped, sucking the White Bear Lake down with it. One of our goals at the White Bear Lake Restoration Association is to make sure that a certain water level in this aquifer is established, such that the groundwater cannot be pumped below this level. In an effort to find a solution to restore the lake to its average lake levels, the White Bear Lake Restoration Association has filed a lawsuit against the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources under the Minnesota Environmental Rights Act, claiming that the DNR allowed too much water to be pumped from the aquifer below the lake. This lawsuit was filed on November 27, 2012, and is currently being reviewed by the DNR. It asks the DNR to find alternate sources of water for cities, to enforce conservation measures, and to divert water from the Mississippi River to restore the lake and the aquifer. Above all, our most important goal is to preserve the Prairie du Chien aquifer, because it takes thousands of years to replenish groundwater. We want to raise statewide awareness of the need for water conservation. In Minnesota, it's easy to take our water for granted because we live in the land of 10,000 lakes. Not 2,000. I know that in White Bear Lake, water use has declined by 20% in the last 5 years as a result of water conservation tactics enforced, like lawn watering restrictions. If other cities started implementing these ideas, a lot more water could be saved. Overall, awareness of the problem and where it's headed is a big factor in getting the ball rolling and making these changes. We are more than willing to work with our surrounding cities in the metro to see if we can possibly shift a portion of the groundwater currently being pumped to an alternative source, like the Mississippi River. A possible alternative to this would be to build a treatment facility where wastewater could recharge the aquifer below the White Bear Lake watershed. Another solution would be to divert treated runoff from nearby Bald Eagle Lake into White Bear Lake. Currently, excess runoff from Bald Eagle flows north through a small creek to Peltier Lake in Anoka County. If the funds are raised, an outlet pipe could be built at the southeast corner of Bald Eagle Lake to connect it to White Bear, which could help restore water levels. The long-term effect of this would have on Bald Eagle Lake is currently unknown. This project is estimated to take $2 to $3 million to build. Well, where would all this money come from to build these huge projects? We are a nonprofit organization, so we do accept donations from anyone who is willing to give to this cause. We are currently trying to raise $500,000 to offset the costs of the lawsuit. In addition, we are considering using the idea of payments for ecosystem services to raise these funds. Basically, if there's not enough water in White Bear Lake or the aquifer, people will need to pay to get their water somewhere else. So why not use that money to save a valued resource so it benefits them in that way? Also, if we win the lawsuit against the DNR, we will be able to use that government-funded money to start work to fix the problem. 1%. If the White Bear Lake water levels are brought back to their previous levels, we will be able to open up one of our beaches, the swimming will be much better, there will be less weeds, and fishing will be much more pleasant. Lakeside businesses will thrive once again, lakeside property values will increase, and overall the residents of our town will be happy to have their lake back. If we are able to achieve these goals, we can help save one of our lakes, but more importantly, we will help others in Minnesota to stop using so much water. Places all around the world have been using water conservation, and it's time that Minnesota jumped on board.